Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for joining me this week. So last week I looked at how the new design feature in Claude completely failed me and it was a bit of a waste of time, but I really wanted to show you the troubles I was having. So this week I'm going to show you Manus doing exactly the same task and how easy and successful and smooth it was with Manus, my tool. So if you're interested in watching how I create a strategic plan based on AI-powered pedagogy that I can share with schools, then please keep on watching. Okay, so I'm on my Manus and I did this before. I actually subscribe to Manus. If you want free credits, I can put a link in the comment section below so that you get 500 credits, I get 500 credits. But if you sign up for free by yourself, you have 300 credits. You can use it for free, but there's limited credits. And I do suggest it's such a wonderful tool that you really try and be very mindful about how you use the credits. It was originally developed in China, then they moved to Singapore, and then Manus got bought out by Meta earlier this year. Everything went through, but the news last week was that the Chinese government has decided that they want to keep Manus and they want to reverse that sale of Manus to Meta. I don't know how that's going to happen because I think all the transactions have already gone through. Meta's already started incorporating, some of the intellectual property, I'm sure, that Manus has in terms of its power. So watch this space. But anyway, this is my go-to tool. If I have time in my partnerships, I normally try to show this, but it's just so powerful and it's not so clunky like all the Claude people out there and the ChatGPT people. You've got so many different tabs for different functions. Here, you just open one window, it's one interface, and you ask exactly what you want. Okay, so this is what I asked for. I've been asked to put together a 2 to 3 year plan based on my work, AI-powered pedagogy, that's based off my book. I am Dr. Jennifer Chang Wathall. So it's a RAG model, Manus, and it will start, looking up some of the information that I've got out on the web, and I've got a lot. As you know, I release a YouTube video every Thursday. I've done so, I think, for 6 or 7 years now. And I've also released a lot of information about my book in terms of all the graphics. So it says, thank you, Dr. Waffle. I'd love to put something together. All right, which book? Because it knows I've also got some other books out there. What is the intended audience? Okay, and are there existing, what are the key goals, etc. Continue. So I think I actually answered those questions. I said it's the AI-powered pedagogy book. It's basically for school leaders. The key goals, it's professional development training plans and also curriculum integration partnerships and yeah, whatever I answered anyway. So then it says it gives you the stages. So this was 6 stages here, and it actually goes through and tells you what stage you're at. And if at any stage you see something and you want to redirect Manus, you can. Whereas you can't do that with Claude. Once you press the enter button with Claude, that's it, you're stuck. And maybe you've pressed it by mistake and it then wastes all this energy, developing something that you don't want. So, that's maybe by the time that this video is released, Claude will have that functionality. But at this moment, you can't interrupt Claude when it's, on a task, on a skill to redirect it. So I can redirect this anytime. It's looked at my book from 2024. And then it says, and then I decide, okay, by the way, can you include working with individual departments after an initial 2 to 3 day visit with the entire staff so that everyone has a shared common language and talk about including project-based learning, right, with AI-infused projects. So while Manus was working on this task, I thought, oh, I better put this in. So I could actually just add that. And it says, thank you for the additional details. I've updated the plan to include this. Okay, so it probably took seriously about 2 minutes, probably less than 2 minutes. And it's given me an outline what to do. Year 1, foundation shared language. Year 2, department application, pedagogical transformation. And year 3, embedded practice and institutional leadership, right? So it's given me this lovely Word document. I'll just click on this so you can briefly see it. Of course, I've edited this, but look how it's looked at my 6 pedagogical principles. I did not tell Manus what they were. I didn't even upload any documents because all of my 6 pedagogical principles are out there. So this is pretty accurate. And then it's got like, lots of different things. Like I didn't like key objectives, so I don't like to share objectives in my workshops. I feel like that robs people of what the present is before they open it. So I kind of then said, you'll see, can you reduce the length and also change the key objectives into guiding questions, right? Okay, I'm going to skip down to say, can you add a phase 1? We've got to be creating and evolving unified AI policy. So I added that. And then here it says, quickly, tell me what the AI principles are from her work. So this is true. I don't know why I said quickly. I think I was in a rush. And then I said, can you add a little bit about co-creating an AI digital literacy framework and mapping this out for, it should be all grade levels. Just give me the description that I can add here. So then it's done that. Okay, then the last thing I said was, we want this fully designed, beautifully professional using the dark blue color, and feel free to look up the AI-powered pedagogy cover and use that. So let me just scroll down now and just show you what that looks like. Okay, so we're not going to look at the details because, it's in Word format, but look, it's got the cover of my book. I mean, I'm going to change this a little bit, edit some of the words, but what a great starting point. And I could edit it as Manus was thinking, but this provided a great template for me to share with different schools. So that was it. That's Manus. Okay, so that was Manus creating a lovely 3-year strategic plan based on my work. I didn't have to give very much information. I did try to use the new design tab in Claude and it completely failed. I don't know why. Maybe it was in beta. I had my VPN on too, so that, provides another challenge. But Manus, you are amazing. And I can't wait to see what's going to unfold in terms of China trying to get you back, into China and out of Meta's hands. So thank you so much for joining me this week, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.